And we're back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to Title TBD, also potentially known as To Be Delighted.
Yeah.
Who knows? So on the break, we were talking about English major stuff
Yeah.
because we both are.
Normal.
You're major also, right?
Mhm.
Okay. For a second I was like, wait. I was like major, and then I was like, wait, minor.
Yeah.
But major. Okay. And I was listening to a podcast this morning. It's a really good podcast. It's called Sawbones, and they look at weird, awful ways we've tried to fix people throughout history. So it's like weird medical history, and it's
I never watch podcasts.
It's a listening. So instead of music, like I'll often put on a podcast.
I'm supposed to be listening to one for class, but
they're good. I like them. I listen to a lot of them. But I was listening to it, and one of the hosts said the word moist, and the other got real yucked out.
Stupid.
Okay. Natalie has strong feelings. I also kind of do. I don't get it. Like, I understand, like, there are certain sounds I hate.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot stand getting my nails filed.
Really?
Yeah. But hearing the sound of my nails on the board, my throat closes up. I'm like, it's almost like a gag reflex, but not. Which is kind of a gross way to put it, but like my whole body like tenses. I'm like,
yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like that about like that chalkboard sound that no one likes.
Nails on chalkboard. Yeah, so that's how I feel about that. The filing sound is it's for me. It's very similar to nails on chalkboard. So I guess my question to you was, do you have any other kind of weird language things that you really hate or like, or even sounds?
I feel like I don't have any words that I don't like. Not like. I just don't get it when people like with the moist thing. I don't know what it is about that word that makes people like recoil. They're like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, like, I wonder if it's the association with like
wetness.
With wetness, yeah. Because some people like, I think you hear that and you're like, I understand the association might not be great.
Yeah,
but also people are fine when it's used in the context of like baked goods.
Yeah, they're just like, this brownie is moist.
Yeah. And like it should be. It's a brownie.
Yeah.
Or I guess cakes should be. I don't know. But I guess my question was, well, I already asked the question, sorry. But there are certain words that I think sound really nice.
Yeah.
Like I really like the word serendipitous.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
You know what word I find funny? Like bubbles. Like you literally can't say bubbles and sound anything but happy. Like you can't. Like you could be like bubbles. And like you tried to sound angry, but like you didn't.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
It's impossible.
Because sorry. I'm like
good.
Losing my mind today.
It's early.
Yeah, but not early enough for me to be this scattered. So I was wondering if so for you it's nails on a chalkboard, you said.
Yeah, that sound, and it's because when I was in 5th grade,
so you have an association with it.
Yeah, it was because it's not, the sound wasn't nails on a chalkboard, it was literally chalk on the chalkboard. But she had this thing, we had to do script, so she would write out how we had to write it on the board, and for that she had this thing, like she held it with her hands. It was like a wood stick, and then it had like protruding from it like 4 wires or something like that. And then she stuck the chalk into each one and just like dragged it across the board.
Forgot about that thing.
And that sound, I was just like, I already didn't like writing script. I was like, you made it worse with that noise. Yeah. And I always think of that. Oh, you know what else I don't like? That like the sound of like, it's not even a sound, I don't think. I just think of like, you know, the Starbucks napkins.
Yeah.
Like Starbucks napkins and like cotton balls like touching. Like I've never heard it, but I know what it would sound like. And I think about it and I'm just like, okay. Like my teeth get dry. And I'm like, what is going on? Like it's so like that. It's like that like something about like dry things hitting other like rough dry things. I'm just like, my teeth, it's my teeth, like my teeth react. And I'm just like, oh, no.
Yeah, I get that though. You've like suddenly you become hyper aware of
you ever been like reading a book and the pages are so like dry and brittle, they're like yellow, and like I just like for some reason imagine my teeth touching the page, and I'm just like
now that you said it,
right? That's happened. I'm not crazy.
Like I don't imagine my teeth touching the page, but there's a weird texture thing.
Yeah, and it's like I like feel it, and I'm just like, this is disgusting. And then I keep touching the book, and I'm just like, no. I'm like, my teeth.
So speaking of books, which links back to English, which links back to language, segues. I was talking with someone about foreign languages and like Romance languages, and obviously like people always say like, oh, English is the hardest language to learn, which like makes sense.
Yeah.
Although like I disagree, because have you ever tried to learn Latin? You have to conjugate.
Oh, I took a Latin class.
You conjugate nouns. It makes no sense.
Oh my God, I'm going to say something about verbiage later.
Okay, yeah. So, but I found out the other day that there's something called the lexical gap.
Yeah.
Which is when you have a word for something in one country but not another.
Right.
So it's like extremely specific things. Mm-hmm. So like in some countries, and I'm blanking on what country it is, they have a word for people who are not virgins. And like
people who are virgins?
Who are not.
So are not.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So like yeah. So but then there's even more specific ones that I'm gonna pull up. But yeah.
That's so strange. I feel like I wanted to write a blog post on that.
I did. I have a draft of one somewhere.
So I might have like a list somewhere in my computer also, but I'm not going to pull that up because I won't find it. I love those words though. Or like there are words for like certain feelings that we feel, and like we just like, and I'm just like, yeah, I felt that, and I just didn't think of it because there wasn't a word for me to like connect it to.
Right. I'm
so
just
cool.
Okay. So this is a Reddit post.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, okay. They talked about it on the NPR show This American Life. So there's someone says there's a word. Okay. On This American Life this week, they mentioned the example of, quote, we call a child who loses their parents an orphan, but what do you call a parent who loses a child? A
parent with no child.
Right, but like they're saying, so it's the idea of, I guess in some language, it doesn't say what it is here.
Interesting. I wonder if that means they'd also have words for like some type of family that we don't name. Like maybe there's words for like second cousins.
So this says, this person is talking about relationship levels. Mm-hmm. And they say, I believe that the Germans say, ich liebe dich. I don't know. Mm. Sorry. Mm-hmm. But they have one phrase for I love you, and that's for romantic love. And they have a longer phrase that translates to I have love for you for all other kinds of love.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, we just say I love you and just hope that you understand it the right way.
Yeah.
You're like, I love you, but not like that.
I think it causes a lot of complications. I wonder if that would solve a lot of...
Yeah, for sure.
Are Germans happy? I don't know. I feel like they always seem angry, but that just could be the guttural language.
Yeah, that's what it is. Even though we also speak a Germanic language, but it just doesn't come off as aggressive.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I think we have longer vowels.
Yeah, it's funny too with... because so like I speak Spanish, and because I speak Spanish when I took French in high school, like it wasn't hard because it was very similar.
They are similar,
because they're Romance languages. The same with Italian, but for some reason, us and German, and like what is it? There's like what's the other one? Like Ukrainian and stuff like that. Like those are all Germanic languages. But if you speak Ukrainian to me, there's no way I'm gonna know what you're saying.
Yeah, they evolved very differently. We were talking about that in Medieval Lit the other day, I think.
Oh, Carlson.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we were talking about how there are, I don't know, just like the evolution of she goes, she's like, it says translations, because even though it's Old English, the Old English they're talking about, you can't understand it when reading it. If you hear it, you kind of can.
Oh yeah, I took her for Chaucer.
Okay.
And it was also something about the Old English is like there was no standardized spelling, which on the first day of class, I was like, that sounds great because I can't spell for my life. No. I spell everything wrong. It is not great. It doesn't make any sense, but I learned to love Chaucer, so it's okay.
I haven't read Chaucer yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll get kind of read it. I already took the class though.
Yeah, I mean, we're reading some of it for this class, I think.
That makes sense.
I'm saying that in the high tone because I don't know if it's true.
She's a big Chaucerian, so probably.
Oh, okay. Here, I found a list. So, the lexical gap, also called the accidental gap. Majsa is a Swedish word that means a range of things in the realm of relaxation. It can be translated to the English equivalent of cozying up or to snuggle, but in a wider sense, it also means to have a nice and relaxed time. So, like, there's not a direct translation.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't have a word for it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Let's see.
Some of the words are super long too. Like the words that we don't have words for.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit this mic so many times.
Okay, so here's the one I was looking for. This word is spelled Hygge. This word has become famed for its lack of translation and is described as something we, quote, want all the time but seldom have. The Danish word roughly translates to the complete absence of anything annoying, irritating, or overwhelming, with the presence of and pleasure from comforting, gentle, and soothing things.
Wow.
That's what like I love is like there's some things where it's like, and I was trying to think of an English thing, like an English word that is something very specific.
Yeah.
And like the closest I could get was like the thing on the tip of your shoelace is called an aglet.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that's something that would have a direct translation though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It should, because it's a thing.
Yeah, but language is wild.
Because a lot of the things that we don't have translation for are like
our feelings.
Feelings. And just like experiences, kind of.
And differentiation of feelings, yeah. Especially like I thought that relationship one was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I feel like their lives in terms of dating have got to be much easier because of that little distinction.
God. You're just like, you slip up, you're just like, I love you as a friend. Friend.
You're like, as a friend.
F-R-I-N-D.
Whereas in German, Sweden, one of them, whatever I said was you can either say I love you or for romantic stuff or I have love for you.
We don't say that. That's not a phrase.
No, we don't.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Someone would be like, you what?
You're like, are you from 1800?
I'm like, what are you talking about? What was it that I was thinking of? Right. So over the summer I was watching a like TED Talk, I think it was, and it was something religion connected because like I'm interested in that. I'm not religious, but like I'm interested in why people are.
Yeah.
And so I was watching it, and she was a TED Talk. She was talking about this like culture somewhere in South America, and then she branched off and she started talking about language, and I was so sad because then the video ended and I was so interested. She started talking about how they do like verbs, and basically, so if you're saying like Kate is crossing the street, the way that they say crossing the street, so the verb, they have like 60 something conjugations for every verb, and within that you know who told you and like how they told you. So you have like the way that we would say Kate crossed the street, you would say I saw Kate cross the street. They add in the you saw within the verb, and they add in just like insane. Or just like if you're like Kate crossed the street, you can also add in like I know because I saw, or I know because she told me, or I know because I did it with her. Like you can add all of those things into just the verb.
That stresses me out.
I wanted to hear so much more. I was like, wait, keep talking. And the video ended because that's not what she was talking about. But I was just like, but tell me more about these verbs. I was like, this sounds amazing. And I told everyone about it. And my friends aren't English majors. So they were just like, shut up. They were like, I don't care. They were like, what's verbiage? And I was like,
no, all love here. All love here. Yeah, so just speaking of languages, I took 2 years of Latin and it was hellish.
I took 1 year.
You took 1 year?
No, I took actually 1 semester.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. We didn't actually speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned how to say the farmer loves the girl, the poet loves the girl,
Useful.
The girl loves the farmer. I mean, I took it because everyone's like SAT words, Latin. And I was like, I like words. And then I took it and it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of declensions. Did you do that stuff?
Yeah. I took it here as the language requirement because I know Spanish and I didn't want them to put me in upper level.
Okay.
I'm worrying about other things. And then I didn't want to take French because then they would also put me in upper level. Because I took it for 3 years, but all I know how to say is like ham. So it's just like all I know is jamon. And it's not, I didn't even say it right. That's how you say it in Spanish. It's like
I was gonna say, I'm like, isn't jamon Spanish?
It's jambon. That's ham in French. And that's all I know. I could probably go to France and survive though, because like I speak Spanish and they sound the same, which is how I got through French. But so I didn't want that either. So then I took Latin, and the way we learned it was, I don't remember what the technique was, but basically we didn't like, there was no like English reading. Like it was a textbook. It was all in Latin with pictures, and then you just had to read it and translate it. And I was just like, but
how do I translate?
Yeah, I was like, how do I do that though? And then he was just like, oh, like context clues and like there's vocabulary words. And I was just like, what? And it was terrible. And then we would go to class, and it was terrible. The reading, the class was good. We love Beckwith, and so we're reading it, and then he would have us read it out loud in Latin, but you didn't have to worry about pronouncing it right because he was like, it's a dead language, so like everyone pronounces it different. And he only had like a few things. He was like a stickler with like you have to say it like this, and then you'd have to do the translation, and it was.
Yeah, it was
weird.
My teacher in high school was very specific, and it was possibly because he was a priest. So like I think it was like church Latin, which apparently is very different. So I've heard.
Probably.
I don't know. But yeah, it was like it was similar to Spanish in some ways, or it was like, but it was some of the spellings like I could see. Like Romance stuff, even though it's not a Romance language, like I could see similarities, like the double L's and that kind of thing. But yeah, language is weird, huh?
So weird.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for us today here on Title TBD. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.